Have you ever stopped to think about how many times you said you'd start something, only to walk away from it a few days later? How many times you told yourself, this time, for real? And it was, for 2 days, maybe a week, until the excitement wore off, and everything fell apart. You don't even notice it anymore, but you've become a specialist in abandoning yourself. You've mastered the art of starting things, and never finishing them. You collect beginnings, but you don't know what an ending feels like. Your mind is a museum of unfinished intentions, half-read books, courses you never completed, journals that were started and forgotten, spreadsheets, apps, routines, workouts, promises, all left for later, but later never comes. And the worst part? You've gotten used to it. You've normalized the cycle, and without realizing it, you built your identity around it. You're no longer someone who procrastinates. You became procrastination itself. You live on standby, paused, frozen. Life calls you, and you answer with silence. But let's rip the mask off and face the ugly truth. You're dying slowly. This isn't drama, it's reality. Every plan you delay, every idea you ignore, every action you don't take, kills a part of your potential. You swear you'll change. You say you just need more focus, that you're one push away. But really? You're just waiting for permission. And that permission in die is never coming. You want to start only when everything's perfect. But perfection is the most destructive fantasy your mind ever created. That's the first poison procrastination pumps into you, the belief that you have to be ready. But here's the truth. You'll never be ready, because your brain was wired to protect you, not to push you. It doesn't want you to grow. It wants you to survive. So every time you step out of the known, it triggers alarms, it makes excuses, it drags you back to comfort, to the same old place. You think you're being logical, but you're just being conditioned. And the more you repeat the pattern, the stronger it gets. You become the person who knows what to do, but never does it. Who talks beautifully about change, but is chained to the same habits. You wake up thirsty for transformation, and go to sleep choking on your own frustration. And the cruelest part? You still blame yourself. You think it's a lack of willpower, focus, discipline. But it's not. You're trapped in a pattern smart enough to use your best traits against you. You care? Great. Here's some perfectionism. You're creative? Perfect. We'll use that to invent better excuses. You're sensitive? Awesome. Let's amplify your guilt until it paralyzes you. And just when you start to realize something's wrong, the world still tells you, stop being lazy. But procrastination doesn't come from laziness. It comes from fear. Fear of failing. Fear of being judged. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of trying your best and realizing it still wasn't enough. Because deep down, it's easier to believe you'll eventually try than to actually try and fail. You start to feel the glitch in the system, but you don't know how to escape it. And then comes the second enemy, comparison. You look around and see people building, growing, crushing it. People who seem to have it all figured out. And you? Stuck. You start to think you're broken, that maybe something's wrong with you, that maybe this life of focus, action, and consistency wasn't made for you. And that's where procrastination becomes a parasite. It drains your energy before you even start. It convinces you that today isn't the day, that you need one more video, one more course, one more plan. It wears the mask of productivity, but it's just stagnation in disguise. And the trap closes in. You overthink and underact. And when you do act, it's rushed, messy, and guilt-ridden. You've become a hostage to the future, always planning, always preparing, never living the now. And every new plan you abandon chips away at your self-esteem. You start to doubt yourself. Your word loses value. Your reflection in the mirror carries shame. You stop talking about your dreams because deep down, you no longer believe in them yourself. And all of that starts shaping who you are. It sculpts a sabotaged identity, a person who talks but doesn't act, who dreams but never builds, who wants but never moves. But hear this. That's not who you are. That's just who you learned to be. You became exactly what the system wanted: a tired dreamer, a thinker without action, a doer who never does. And that's exactly what procrastination wants: for you to stay frozen, full of ideas, and zero execution. Because while you're thinking, it wins. But if this isn't who you really are, if procrastination is just programming, then yes, you can rewrite the code. And it starts with a brutally simple decision: act before you're ready. Yes, you'll start afraid. You'll start unsure. You'll start messy. You'll start wondering if this is the right way to start. And guess what? That is the right way. You don't beat procrastination by waiting for motivation. You beat it by generating movement, even if it's clumsy, even if it's slow. Because imperfect movement breaks the paralysis. And another thing, stop building sandcastles called the perfect time. You don't need the perfect coach, perfect setup, perfect energy. You just need to stop using the lack of perfection as a permission slip to do nothing. Want to change your health? Start today, with what you have, with what you can. One meal, one glass of water, one step. Want to learn a new language? You don't need to master grammar, slang, and pronunciation in one go. Start with useful phrases, one word a day, one block at a time. Because here's the truth: you don't fail because you lack ability. You fail because you try to swallow the whole world at once, and the world swallows you back. The solution? Break the monster down. Slice the project. Chop the goal. Turn the Everest into tiny stairs, not to make it easier, but to make it closer. When you fragment the task, you shrink the fear. And when fear shrinks, action steps in. But there's more. You're addicted to fast dopamine. Scroll, stories, reels. Tiny hits of instant pleasure rewired your brain to avoid anything that requires effort. And when something demands focus, energy, depth, your brain rejects it. Build a war zone. Focus is resistance. Focus is architecture. Focus is ritual. Start here. Turn off notifications. Put your phone in another room. Use the Pomodoro method. 25 minutes on, 5 off. Wear specific clothes just for work or study. Tell people you live with, "I'm in mission mode." Build your battlefield. Create an execution altar. Because without the right environment, there's no action. Without microstructure, only distraction. Want something else that'll save you? A schedule. Yeah, a simple schedule can be the wall between you and chaos. Don't rely on memory. Your brain was built to create, not to store. And every time you try to juggle everything mentally, you crash. Write it, organize it, color code your tasks: red for urgent, orange for important, green for light. Procrastination is born in chaos, but it dies in structure. One more thing no one tells you: automate what you can. If you know you'll use food as an excuse not to work, meal prep on weekends. Kill the excuse before it even shows up. Simplify life. Eliminate friction. Remove obstacles before they become monsters. Make your routine a place you can win in, because your brain repeats what's easy. If you make avoiding easier than doing, guess which one it'll choose. So make the right path easier, make the wrong one harder. You don't need to be a robot. You just need a system that makes action inevitable. Now that you know the mechanics, now that you understand it's not laziness, not lack of talent, not fate, now that the mask is off, what are you going to do about it? Keep waiting for the perfect moment? Stay stuck in the loop of planning but never executing? Spend another year collecting unfinished dreams? Or finally understand that you don't need motivation? You need a reason, a fire, a breaking point, something you want so badly that the pain of not doing it is worse than the comfort of delay. You don't change because of pretty quotes. You change when it becomes unbearable to stay the same. When you look around and feel disgusted by your own stagnation. When you realize every excuse you repeat is an insult to your own potential. Enough. Enough planning. Enough listing. Enough postponing your greatness. The difference between those who live and those who just exist isn't talent, isn't luck. It's that one of them had the courage to start. and never stopped. So choose. Will you keep feeding the lie that it's not the right time? Or will you start today, imperfect, nervous, unsure? But you'll start? Because life doesn't wait, time doesn't care, and procrastination has only one mission: to steal your story. Are you gonna let it? You already know the path. You already know what to do. And you've carried the weight for too long to keep saying, "I can't." Be the break in the cycle. Be the disruption. Be the generation that doesn't die with their dreams stuck in their throat. And if at any point the doubt comes back, if fear hits, anxiety, the urge to run away, come back here. Watch this again. Because this voice isn't a video. It's a reminder that you're still in control. Start now, or stop pretending you ever will. This is mental rebellion, not motivation. Deprogramming, not a channel, a resistance.